Damos paso a la siguiente presentación del señor Francisco Serna.
Por favor. Well, thanks to Pau Costa Foundation and as well as Infoca, the Fire Suppression Service at Andalusia State, for letting me stay here. I have to admit that until this morning, maybe 3-4 hours ago, I was decided to give the talk in Spanish, but at the end I changed my mind, so let's see how it goes. Please forgive my accent and maybe the vocabulary. I'll give you, the idea was to share some experience in terms of prescribed fire use in Andalusia. Actually, we have an open program in prescribed fire use, mainly focused on personal training. That's a need for us. I mean, to be a suppression service, we need to feel confident playing with fire, both crews and technicians. Prescribed burnings give us an opportunity let us be more confident and be more professionals and be better organized. So that's the main focus nowadays. Also, we are working in standards. We are working on designing prescribed burning standards, and that's where we are now. And that's more or less the few numbers, more than 23 burns in the last 3-4 years, with that concept in mind. We are trying to do easy burnings. I mean, the main focus is to train, so to play with different fire patterns. So we look for fine fields, structures as tipa tenacissima in the above of the pictures, but also we are learning how to burn chaparral structures. Chaparral has lack of fine fields. They burn very hot in summer as a crown fire. It's a crown fire at a shrub level, but they are really difficult to burn under backing fire, low intense prescribed burnings. But we learned that with a previous mechanical treatments, as the picture in the middle, we can manage them as slash fields, but with a high level of fine fields, light fields in there. So we are also dealing with that. And of course, we're doing underburning in literal structures, but also in shrubs, field model 7, 10, under tree canopy, mainly Pinus pinaster, but also Pinus nigra and Pinus alepensis. So what's next? Well, the idea is to use that burning units not only to learn and practice and be more confident with fire, but also to give a fire management opportunity for for the summer season. So we'll be focusing fuel management to use the prescribed fire as a fuel management tool. The problem is that in Mediterranean areas, in Andalusia and southern Spain, we have lack of fine fuels in many different structures. So the shaded field break areas give us an opportunity because they do have fine fields, and also because most of these infrastructures are in public lands. We as Infoca, as the environmental agency, are forced, we need to maintain those areas every year, every 5 years. So that's a need for us. So if we combine that we are mandatory to maintain them, and also that those structures are close to fire, to forest roads, and they're being already pruned. So we have a vertical gap between surface complex and the overstory. They are really interesting areas to play with fire, to burn them. So what happened now is that recently we focus in field load management with prescribed burning. We are focused in reducing surface field loads, but in most of the studies, and also I heard several talks these days, we look at the trees as a damaged indicator. We try to not to produce too much damage in the overstory, but we don't consider that complex, the overstory, is also a very important part of the fire behavior, because we have to look both to the surface and to crown. So if we consider both complex, and if we take in account that the thermal pruning makes some effect on the crown activity, it is important to focus on that overstory, as well as reducing fuel loads at the surface level. So besides, there are many different behavior simulation tools. We've used Nexus because it is an easy tool, also a numeric tool, that consider both surface behavior, crown behavior, and the transition between both of them. The main inputs are crown base height, altura basal de copa, crown bull density, densidad de copa aparente, as well as the outputs, the torching index, the crowning index, that means wind speed to have processes of passive or active crown fires, as well as some limitation or levels in crown base height, as well as the free wind speed for crown fire cessation. Okay. So we wanted to share some experience in terms of those shrub structures under Pinus pinaster. You have more or less the data that the fuel loads, the different species, and how one of the main limitations we have, you see, is that the crown base height, the initial crown base height before the burns were really low. We had crown canopy starting at 1.2 meter. That's really a narrow gap between surface and crown stratus. So that was a concern. And that also, you have the burn conditions, the moderate conditions, easy burning, and that you see the pictures. The results showed a significant difference in both fuel consumption, surface fuel consumption, as well as a crown base height increment, which was what we were looking for. In addition, both torching index and the crowning index were also significantly different, making that plot really resistant, not only for future burning practices, but also for what the fire break was made for, which is wildfire suppression, to give us an opportunity to face against the wildfire and being secure in those areas. You see the pictures after the fire, 1 year after the fire, 6 years after the fire, and how even the small trees were still alive. And that's another plot, unit plot, 1 year after, with a beautiful regeneration, and 6 years after. In other structures, mainly with litter and slush, under Pinus pinaster again, in Almeria, in the eastern part of Andalusia. You have also the different data. You see fuel loads up to 25-30 tons per hectare for a liter. That's a lot. And that is not only because of the overstory, but also because as that was part of a shady field areas, an area that is mechanical treated every 3, 4, 5 years, the accumulation in those dry areas, as Almeria is, allow an important fuel bed loads with the pass of the year. We had two different burn conditions, severe and moderate. You see the fuel moistures. And the results also showed an important difference in crown base height in both scenarios, in severe and moderate scenario. But in terms of crown fire initiation and crown fire, active crown fire, we got really significant difference, but only in the severe scenario. Means that they need to be burned hot in order to have a really increment in crown base height, and also to get a really large reduced crown bull density. You see some pictures and how the data collection was. So limitation and needs, of course, crown-based height increment depends not only of the initial crown-based height, but also of how severe the burn was. The estimation of crown bolt density, it's a need. We need to have more accurate data about how the crown bolt density of the plot is in order to make adjustment over the prescription window in order to have better results in the crowning indexes. We need to be more rigorous at collating data. We are firefighters, we work for a wildland fire service, but that is not an excuse. We need to be more accurate in the inventory work and also at statistics work. That is not an excuse. We need to improve a lot in that. As Mark Castelnau said this morning, we also need to understand the fire ecology in our plots, because as he said, it is not the same to do a winter or spring burn than in a summer burn. The response from the plant community is different, and that I mentioned some examples. For example, that was in Malaga, one unit before the burn at the left-hand side and after the burn. If you see the increment in crown-based height after the burn was great. That plot is totally protected against crown fires, which was what we were looking for as a shady field break area. But at the same time, because that was a winter, early spring burn, you see the resprouting of Quercus coccifera. So we need to learn how to deal with that, because maybe the structures we are going to get are not what we were looking for. And we have to be critical with ourselves. You see other pictures, 1 year after the burn, the one at the left corner, and different plots, all of them 6 years after the burns. You see the response is really different, depending on plant species, of course, Erica, Quercus, and Ulex, I believe. And we need to learn we need to have a goal of what we want to get, and we need to learn how to deal with it. Conclusions. The crown activity potential must be considered whenever, not only to maintain those field break areas, but also when we design and we locate them. We need to take in account, and we look to have a look upside and not only at the surface level. The use of prescribed fire is usually focused in that, in fuel load reduction, and we need to take in account that we also can have an opportunity to give 2 for 1. I mean, to get 2 benefits instead of just one. The effects on crown could be even more important and a better excuse to implement prescribed burning as an alternative to other mechanical treatments. And at least we have to have that under consideration. Understanding the prescribed fire effects on crown behavior demands more experience. It's what we're trying to do, as well as a better approach to research center. We need to improve, we need to offer our burns to research people, research groups, to learn all together in order to get the final results good for both parts. Despite some limitations, results so far suggest that prescribed fire could contribute to reduce crown fire activities, both for passive and transition to crowning, as well as to active crown fires. I want to thank the regional team that is in charge of all these burns during the last years because of their professionalism. Some of them are here, so I want to thank them. And also want to thank the Almeria Wildfire Service because of their enthusiasm in collecting data and also to provide us with their land and let us practice and let us learn all together. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Paco. I think it's an excellent presentation, and you have a really big challenge just studying both levels in the impact of prescribed fire. There is any question from the room? Okay, 3 questions. So I please ask you just to be really very short, and also in the answers, try to be very short, because sometimes in the answers we do another conference. So please, at the end.
Sí, buenas tardes, Paco. Muchas gracias por la presentación. Creo que Andalucía está en un momento ahora súper importante de desarrollar más las quemas, y no sé si habéis hecho comparación por lo importante que pueda resultar para los demás, o para todo el mundo, para todos, la comparación entre el uso de quemas con el uso mecánico, y si eso va a afectar a la reducción de combustible en copas o no.
Tanto no hemos llegado. Entre otras cosas porque ahora mismo el enfoque es puramente de formación. Entonces, en ese sentido es más sencillo y no, digamos que matamos moscas a cañonazos, ¿no? No ponemos problemas sobre los costes económicos que las experiencias suponen, porque no es el objetivo de esa gestión. En el momento en el que pasemos a una fase más operativa de gestión, donde la quema no solamente sirva para un plan de formación, sino que aporte una gestión del territorio, ahí ya tendremos que echar números y tendremos que considerar mejor, mucho mejor, los efectos ecológicos y otras implicaciones y respuestas que las necesitamos para comparar lo que tú dices. Hay algunas experiencias antiguas, bueno, antiguas, de hace 10, 15 años en Andalucía, donde sí se compararon económicamente y por coste esas alternativas que lidera el grupo de la Universidad de Córdoba, el laboratorio de la BIF, de la UCO, pero nosotros todavía no hemos llegado a tener esa información. Ojalá lleguemos en breve.
We are really out of time, so please, I really ask, it could be very short the question, also the answer as much as possible.
Sorry.
Very quick, please.
My question is, would you consider a first entry in the winter to reduce or to increase the crown base height or canopy base height, and then a second entry in the summertime to get the understory that you're looking for, or to manage a wildfire to create that condition once you have taken care of the overstory?
The problem we have, or one of the problems we have, is we are not allowed to use fire during the fire season. It's forbidden by law. So we are now focused on winter season and spring season, but we are working to change that because some ecosystems need to be managed in summer, but so far we can't. Thank you.
Okay, Domingo? No? Okay, it's okay. So thanks very much, Paco. Okay. So let's move to, please.